All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody so everybody gets joined in here. 1 second. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, everybody. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. What a week. What a choppy week. But it's been interesting. So lots of good stuff. So today we're going to conclude this week's discussion on day trading channel types. And this week, it's all been basically indicator type channels, right? So indicator channel types. So really cool stuff. And today we're going to go over the standard deviation channel. So this is a really cool one. It's powerful too. So we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. Before we do get started, though, just as a reminder, everything we talk about always is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's check and see where we left off in the market. So we'll go through the market, we'll take a look at futures, and then we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests as we wrap up this week here. So where are we? Where did we leave off in the SPX this week, today, so far? So monthly chart, double inside month so far. So we're getting tight, right? We're getting kind of range bound right here. And, if it feels choppy, it's because it has been choppy, right? So we have inside week right here. It's still below the mid Bollinger band here on the monthly chart. It's been contending with it, right, to try to get above it. So we still have a bit of time left in the month, right? So we've only finished our first full week here in May. Still a little bit green, and the futures continue to try to push their way up. So again, let's take a look and see where we are at. So with the weekly chart, you can see we've been kind of range bound in here, right? We're kind of in this this weekly range, right? It actually might even be forming a bit of a bull flag there. But last week, if we look at the weekly candles, last week upper shadow here off of the gap fill and into this this big inside week, this Harami cross right here, which really brought us down to the downside after that. And then so we have that, but we gap below that this week, and that's where you look for some follow through. And they couldn't do it, right? So they pushed into the range right here. So now we're going to see where we finish this week tomorrow. It should be a very, very important day tomorrow to see where this candle closes this week. And of course, we'll analyze that in the newsletter this weekend. Daily chart, still in the trend box. So, we've had an interesting move up here, right, since the lows recently. What was this right here, guys? Morning star reversal, right? So you had a big red candle here. The real body of this candle closed below here. And then this candle closed over 50% of the range of the first candle. That 3-bar pattern there is a morning star reversal pattern, right? And what we see with these is we typically see a high follow-through, high probability, high follow-through pattern. And if you recall, before we got to this point, we started reviewing a lot of this stuff, right? We started reviewing reversal patterns. This is one that set up for us and gave some nice follow-through to the upside here. If you look at this candle alone, it was like 136 points, right? With Morningstar reversals, a lot of times we do get a little bit of a pullback, and then we go. That's exactly what happened right here. So we worked our way up, right? We got up to the 50 moving average, found a little bit of resistance there, found some resistance at the cloud, and then boom, we pop out of the cloud, stay above the trend line, shift the trend line up, and then they bring it back down again. But one of the cool things is having a couple of these tools with us. We know the cloud can serve as potential support. Of course, you have your 21 moving average in your 50 now. It's kind of starting to curl a little bit. If we stay sideways for a while, which I hope we don't, but it's possible, right? So this 50 will start to curl its way back up, and then maybe just start to swoop the market back up too. So we'll see how we go. But once we broke down below this trend line, right, that creates the trend box, right? We have our pivot level down here, so that's the bottom of the trend box. Right? If we get above the trend box, right, we shift our trend line over, and we go back to being bullish till proven otherwise. And so at this point, they're basically just trying to prove otherwise right here. So and it's been tricky, right? Today's range was only 25 points. So today, like I said, if today felt choppy, it's because it was, right? And so, narrowest range since the crash, right? So you had this one up here was 14 points, and that was it. After that, everything's, even the other narrow ranges here were like 39 points, right? 42 points. We had a pretty narrow range the other day, 34 points, but today, guys, was 25 points in the market. Just very, very narrow range. But how come we're up 32 points if it was only a 25-point range? Because we have these crazy gap ups because of the futures, right? And we'll take a look at the futures in a little bit. But these futures, they push it up like 50 points, and then we kind of push around that range for the other 20, and then come back in a little bit. So that's what we saw. Let's take a look at the price action here today. Here's the 15-minute chart. Look how choppy this is. Here's your 15 orb range. That's your opening candle right there. Forms your 15 orb high, 15 orb low. And look how we stayed in this range for a long time, almost till lunchtime. We got one pop out of there today, and it was quick, right? If we just go quickly to the 5-minute chart, I mean, it was this, and that was it. And even that was just like 3 candles on the 1-minute chart. It was a 3-minute move up, and then it was a back to the chop, back to the chop, back to the chop. We did get a short here today. We had a nice geometric setup here to the downside, and all of our stars kind of aligned right here. You can see the ADMA was curling over. We got a nice push down here to the 15 orb high, and took profit. And of course they chopped it around some more, and then it flushed a little bit more. So a little bit tricky here today. You can see big upper shadows, big lower shadows. Very, very, very tricky day, very choppy. So, but that's what happens, right? So, but that's what they gave us. So that's what we got to work with. We didn't get one of these end of the day flushes, which were pretty fun the last 2 days. We just chopped around today. So it's kind of what we had going on there. These are the levels that we provide to our members before each market open. They're very powerful, and they help us. Right, they help us see, where we're going, what we're looking at, right, where the potential targets are, right. So here we could tell that we weren't really going up to the next level up. This R2 level, even though this is a nice strong candle, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, boom, 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 brought us back down to the level, right. So, and then here, it's kind of chopped around a little bit. We got this nice move here, nice candle right here, sideways action, and then boom, down to the next level, and then just kind of chopped around here at these levels right here. So very, very important to have these, to know your levels and where we're going to be testing in the on the market intraday. So good stuff. Let's take a look at the S&P futures here and see what we're doing here tonight. So back to bullish, right? I mean, they just keep on pushing this thing up. We're at 23 points after hours. Like, why can't we get a 23-point move intraday? Why are they having all the fun after hours, right? Well, it just is what it is, right? So they, they love trying to do what they can to prop the market up. They just do it, right? So, so this is what I drew here today, guys. I posted this on the public Twitter. I said, hey, this is a key area right here. Right, so you can see here from all the way from the lows from last night, right? Remember that double inside 15, which basically brought us up, right? It gave us a big upward channel that just stuck all night, right? And then we got to the open today, and they tried to flush it a little bit, chopped around, got to move up. Here's your moves down. We held the 15 orb range right here, and then tonight in the futures, right? They, after this we pushed up. They tried to give a nice little pop at the open, right? They gave you this. It was a little bit tricky, and then they popped it again, came back down, tested that today's early morning 15 orb range, gave it an inside 15 here, holding this ADMA, which is working its way up. Nice little squeeze back there to that 15 orb range, and then popped again, and just strong. And not really a whole lot of volume. Well, actually, we got a bit of volume on this one, but a couple of these was just not a lot. They just pushed it. And once we cleared this level right here, this pivot, very, very important area. Right, we got above there. We paused there for let's give us another inside 15, and then we got up here to this level where we're just kind of seeing an upper shadow. So we want to see how we contend with that throughout the evening, and you can see where that came from here. If I scrunch this a little bit for you guys, there we go. So that pivot right there was a drop down point right here. So this is important, right? So 29.20 going into tomorrow. Okay, that's an important level. This one here, that pivot too is important. 29.10. Okay, so that's where we're finding a little bit of selling pressure in this area right now. So, but ultimately, kind of a huge kind of cup and handle-ish type pattern, right? And so now let's see tomorrow if we can get above that 29.20. If we do that, and we have a strong day on Friday, we might come back and, test, 29.50. Who knows? We could even get it 29.65. That would be an epic Friday, but it should be interesting. So we'll see what they have in store today. So at this point now, right, we shift this trend line over because we have fresh high, fresh trend line. So we got room here tonight. To see where that takes us. So we got that right there. Okay, so if they want to bring this thing down, or they could get there, and now we kind of have this bump line right here. So we got a couple areas here, a couple trend lines that we're looking at. So let's see if we go sideways here. They might test this level again. And here, if they reject it, we could see a bump and run down to this line. And if it drops, right, well, we got these other levels we got. Oh, we got these other levels right here. Activate that and switch that forward here. There we go. It's a little too close to the end there. There we go. So we got that to contend with tonight. So this is kind of what we're looking at going through the evening. So let's see what they decide to do with this, and where we end up in the morning to see what we open with, for what we have to contend with and what levels we have to play with at the open. So anyway, good stuff there. So that's where we're at with the ES. And here tonight, let's get to our topic. So tonight we're going to finish talking about day trading channel types. So today we're going to talk about the standard deviation channel. So what's the standard deviation channel? So we've talked about channels in the past. This is another one. We looked at the TTM LRC. But the idea is that in each move, right, there's a midpoint, right? There's a midpoint between lines, right? There's a midpoint between price, right? So if you start here, if we let me do a fresh drawing set here. Okay, so if you start here on this, right, and you start to move up, right, this line, consider this the center line right here. This center line would look for the average, right, the mean of all the prices in here, right? So it's trying to find that midpoint, that median line right there in these areas. So let's say you get up to here, right? That's kind of your midpoint line. And what the standard deviation channel does is it takes that line. I'm going to duplicate it twice here. Okay, it takes that line and then it goes a standard deviation over. Okay, and it does another standard deviation over here. Okay, so you go there. So then what it does, going all over the place here. What happened? There we go. Oh. All right, get back zoomed in here. Okay, there we go. So activate trend line. There we go. And then we grab this, and it goes here, and that goes to standard deviation over. And so what does that do? It gives you a channel to work with, right, based on the average price here between your your highs and your lows of what's going on here. So that's pretty cool, right? That shows you a nice little channel. And look what happens. You get to the bottom of that standard deviation channel, it works its way up. You get to the deviation channel, right, comes back to the midpoint line and moves. So that's pretty cool, right? And so, oh, sorry guys. Let me switch to the other. Sorry. Okay, so got it. Sorry, got it. My bad. I get all excited when we get talking. I always think it's automatic. I gotta get some interns, guys. I know. I got it. Got it. Should be good now. All right, we good? Okay, good. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so anyway, let me just kind of recap. So this line right here, all right, what it's doing is right, you're getting the averages, right, between these points, and then it ultimately finds that midpoint and creates a line, right, like this. And then what it does is the standard deviation channel is it pushes it out a standard deviation down and then a standard deviation up. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Yeah, I'm going over it right now. So you have your average line right here. You go standard deviation down, standard deviation up, and it creates a channel, right? And that's pretty cool, right? Because what price likes to do mathematically, right? It likes to return to the mean. Okay, it likes to return to the revert to the mean, right? So when it comes down, price can extend so much. It's like a rubber band, right? So it kind of pulls back down here to your lower standard deviation, right? Like a channel, and it pops off that channel. Look where it goes. It goes all the way back up, and it hits that median line again. It reverts to the mean before it decides to kind of stretch again. Now the thing is that this alters over time, right? This adjusts over time, right? So as price changes, that median line also shifts. So now, say the channel goes here, well, this shifts along with it. Okay, so this is a very cumbersome work for us to do on our own here. Cumbersome work to do on our own here, but you can see it's holding the channel. Then it gets to the bottom of the channel, and then it reverts back to the mean. Right, so you can see this right here. It just kind of continues its way up, and boom. So it reverts off of this and gets up to the mean. So it's a pretty cool tool because that's what price likes to do. It likes to, likes to kind of average itself out. So it's a neat tool. So what we do is there's cool tools that are built into a lot of our software here, like Thinkorswim. If you use Thinkorswim, I really think this is available in TradingView as well. So what we have is a study called the standard deviation channel, right? So if you just type in channel in Thinkorswim, right, it's going to pull up. You can see it's like the fourth one down, standard deviation channel. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that up right here. We're just going to use the last 21 bars to define the median, right, like a linear regression channel. Exactly, just exact same thing. So yeah, so if you go here in your tools where I have the little hand symbol, you go right here. See that regression channel? It's like halfway down. So you can just grab that right here, and you can see how that adjusts, right, as you're moving up, right? You can see how that channel kind of adjusts as you keep moving, right, and it expands as the standard deviations move, right? And it really gives you a good perspective of what's going on with the market as things move. And the bigger it is, right, the more price stays within this range, right, the more that this will adjust itself. So that is just the linear regression tool, and we've talked about that too. So there's a couple automatic ones that are in Thinkorswim. There's a TTM, the TTM LRC, the TTM linear regression channel. Okay, so it has that, and I actually customized this one so that it kind of matches that. But you take that out there, And then, but the study itself, you just go to edit studies for this one. This is you go channel, and then standard deviation channel. And this one's using the 21. You can customize it however you want to, but it uses basically the average of the last 21 price, the highs and lows of the last 21 price, right? And so you can see here, whoa, where is this? Where's it going, right? Or 21, I'm not exactly sure what it does. 1 second right here. So here, standard deviation channel, Yep, so full range. Yep, so just use a length of 21, and I think the default on it is, give me 1 second. Yeah, it's composed of 2 lines that represent linear regression trend line and distance from the specified number of standard deviations. So the upper line is placed about right. So so ultimately, this is how it defaults here with 21. So it's pretty cool. And what it uses is time, right? So if you have, depending on how far back you go in time, is how far this one's going to go, right? So right now I have my 15 minutes set to 20 days, so it's going to use the last 20 days to develop that linear regression channel. So it's kind of cool. It gives you a huge perspective on the market, right? Now it does shift a long time, so it looks perfect always, like, you know, when you look back in time initially, right? So if I look here, it's like, oh wow, that called the top. Well, maybe not necessarily. Maybe when we were here, right, that was not really quite there, but it gets pretty close. Especially the more data you have, the bigger that channel goes. So this one goes back. So if I switch this over to a 15-minute 5-day instead of 20 days, that's going to shift a little bit, right? It's going to give you a tighter move, right? If I just go to, but it's going to fill your screen. So that's how this one works right here. But it's pretty cool, right? So right now we can see here over the last 5 days on the 15-minute chart, right? We hit a high, we hit a low. Here's the average of all those prices using the, I think it still uses the 21. The last 21 candles, but it's based off of the daily time frame right here. So it kind of averages all of these out in the screen. So, but anyway, so right now you can see what we've done today based on this linear regression channel, this automatic standard deviation channel, is that we're still kind of holding this median line right here. What do we do today? We came back down, when we pulled back and hit that 15 or below before we moved. All we did was hit that median line, right? We reverted to the mean, and now it's bouncing up. So where's this thing going to go? Right, well, we don't know, right? Of course, this could be the next level. You know, if I put this up here, you know, we could be seeing something like this. Or if I go all the way back here, here's a linear regression channel to this. This has got, it takes this two standard deviations up right here. So here's your first standard deviation. So you can see how that held just using the it automatically, the STD tool takes you out 2. But you can see here, this is the way I have my regression channel done right here, is it customizes it to +1. So now you can see how very, very interesting this is, right? We came back to the channel here, it came back up, down -1, right? Found some, regressed to the mean right here. Chopped around a bit, tried to figure out some price right here. And now here, we're up to the first standard deviation. So this is kind of a cool area to look for potential resistance as we go into tomorrow. So if we come back down off of this, where do you think we'll go, right, if you're trading this? Okay, so we looked at our other levels, you know, how important the other levels are. So if we go back to, our other set right here, you can see, right, we're kind of coming into resistance here just based on some pivot points. But when we put when you have your regression tools on, you can see we're actually coming up to a potential reversion move back to, right, the center line. So if we can't get over those levels, there's a high probability, right, that this will revert to the mean, which if you kind of extend this out a little bit here, where would that be? Right, so we come out here. So if tonight, if we can't get over that and it pulls back, we might end up coming back here, right? Which basically bring us back kind of flat. Okay, so on the night. But when was the last time we opened flat in the morning? So not really there. But we could tag that, right? You know, and depending on how the price action is, it might want to come back down to the next linear regression channel. But it always likes to revert to the mean. And that's how that one works. So pretty cool stuff. So that's on the 15-minute time frame right there. Another thing you could do is you could look at a lower term time frame and see how that's going, right? So intraday today, just during the intraday time frame, so if we just put today's stuff on, right, if we go 5-day, 5-minute here, and then put our regression channels on here, right, now you can see pretty cool stuff, right? So this is what we're seeing right here now. So remove this. Okay, and let's put our standard deviation channel. Now if we go 1 day out, I'll show you what it is like between these days right here. Usually I like to keep the defaults on these things, but let's see, standard channel, standard deviation channel. So this has got your 5-day move here. And you can see where that midpoint line is right here, and we're still far, we're still pretty far below there. If I shift it down to a 1-day time frame, just today, one day you'll see it'll shift a little bit just based on the 5-minute price action here on the intraday, but we're still really kind of hugging this median line right here as we're kind of slowly working our way up. So again, it gives you cool areas of potential targets, right? And so that's one of the things I like about it, right? So when we're moving, it's like not only do we have it gives you a nice confluence with our trend lines, right, with our pivot levels, and what we're looking at in history too. So like we said, this 2910 level is going to be pretty important, right? If we can get above that, then it gives me another potential target other than those pivot levels. It might show me that, hey, maybe this thing really wants to get up to this 2950 level and can give us some great perspective when we're trading. Let me show you here on the 1-day 1 minute. So this is pretty cool too. Okay, so 1-day 1 minute takes us like right here. So definitely just kind of clinging on to that median line right here. And again, you can shift this too. If you don't like 2 standard deviations, you can right click on this and just make it 1 standard deviation. Okay. I don't think sometimes it's not adjusting those for some reason. Go right there, hit no, and yes again, and hit apply. Okay, so I can shift it down to just 1 standard deviation like that. So that's pretty neat too, right? Because he showed here today. Look, when we had that drop today, which was a little bit funky, right? We came back down here, and then after hours they brought it back up off of that linear regression channel, and we eventually reverted tonight back to the mean, right? And so now we're kind of slowly working our way back up here. But you can see here that intraday, right? These channels are very, very powerful, and they can give you great direction, great trading direction. And what I really like about it the most is they give you good perspective. Give you good perspective on where we might be going. So anyway, cool stuff. Plus, algos like them too. So the algos love the math. So regress to the mean. It's a good tactic. So, but definitely something to help. And hopefully you guys found that helpful. It's been a good couple sessions this week talking about different tools with channels. And channels are really powerful, right? Because price likes to flow up and down. It likes to test levels. And channels can give you really good perspective, good geometric perspective on the market. So good stuff. All right. Well, at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all have a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow and finish up the week with Friday. Don't forget tomorrow's Friday, which means it's option expiration day on the weeklies. So just be really careful if you're trading on Friday and you're not accustomed to having that low theta high momentum moves, because not only it's great when you're absolutely right on your trade with options, but if it pulls back on you, it could really, really pull back. So one of the solutions that we have to that is looking for options. If we're trading SPY tomorrow, we'd look to trade Monday's SPY contract, so we can have a little bit more control of our trade and not have all the momentum controlling our price action. And also, if you end up accidentally holding it through the weekend, if you have next week's options, you don't have to worry about getting a sign. That's never fun either. So anyway, good stuff. All right, guys, awesome. Thanks for bearing with the window there, not clicking it over, and I think we got all the topics out pretty well there. So we got a few that came in here tonight. For some reason, one didn't come through. I know Jimmy sent one by Twitter, and it was Twilio. So Twilio had quite a day today. So we talked about this last night, right? So gap and go for sure on Twilio, right? So let's get a fresh, clear line on here, so you can see exactly what happened here, right? We we gapped above the all-time highs, right? And so that gives you a gap and go potential on this. So why do we gap and go today? What do we talk about with this? If we have a high potential to gap and go. If we gap over a major pivot level, there's no resistance, right? So what else do we look at? Pre-market levels, right? So now we can see here how important those pre-market levels are. So you can see this morning, right? As long as we can get over that pre-market high, right, we have a chance of getting up, to the next, potential Fibonacci move up, or the next push, right? So once we got a momentum move here, when this kind of volume, this kind of fresh volume coming in, this momentum, and we cleared this level, that's a momentum move right there from 158. And you give a quick push up here to 162 for a 4-point move before the first little pullback. And then we pushed even harder once we got to that 15-orb high. We got to the next level up here, right, and continue to work its way up. So that being said, where's this thing going from here? Well, tough call on that one, right? That was a strong candle today with some huge volume. So the bulls are definitely in control here today. So what I would say is on today's candle, right, as long as you can hold that 50% of the level, this thing will be constructive, right? So on these big gap days like this. So we might see some upgrades coming in tomorrow, things like that. But, as long as it holds 50% of the range of this one, you're at like 164, right? So as long as it kind of holds that area, right? It still continues to be constructive. Now, sometimes these things do pull back, right, and they test the gap. But just because it tests the gap doesn't mean it's going to fill the gap. This is what we call a breakaway gap right here. This is huge. Right? It's a big move for this thing. So all it's doing right now is that you kind of have to shift mindset until proven otherwise, and be like, look, this thing is bullish now. This is its new area of interest, and we'll see if it goes from there. Now, one of the cool things about this, one of the tactics we have with a big gap up like this, is a push over today's high. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go up huge, but sometimes you can get a nice scalp off of that over the prior day's highs on the right setup intraday. Sometimes you catch like a little inside 15 at those levels and get a nice pop out of the prior day's highs on a big gap like that, right? Because a lot of folks are interested in it now, and there's no real supply up there. There's no real selling pressure except for this upper shadow, but above that, it goes to fresh all-time highs again. Anyway, good stuff. Shirley sent a few by email, so let's take a look at those. So Jpmorgan, a lot of them are repeats from last night. I think I grabbed a different one this time, but Jpmorgan, guys, pretty interesting stuff. So inside day today, well, actually not quite an inside day. It ticked a little bit above it right here, but it is still below this geometric line. That had good volume to the downside yesterday. The risk reward, you're kind of looking at your next pivot right here is kind of like right at this level here. So you had this to deal with, but let's see how that goes. The upper shadow today below the ADMA, which is curling down. It still might want to test Thursday's lows, but with the market, pushing up like it is, we'll have to see where we are in the morning to see if we can retest those lows. But still pretty bearish here on the financials. And Jpmorgan, still has struggled today off of this geometric line. So let's see if that gets any more downside movement tomorrow. SPG inside day today. Right, so again, real estate, kind of having some issues right here, but it's still holding this geometric line right here, and you've got earnings coming up again on that one. DE, John Deere and Company. So still within this triangle range right here, as you can see there. Okay, so contained by this 50, which is looking like at top of the triangle, you got this geometric line right here. So we're kind of stuck in the cloud right now, and let's see if that gets, how it tests those levels going into tomorrow and the rest of the week. Piton earnings again today, guys. So this was a good one as well. All right, and what happened here? So all-time highs, again, on Piton. It gapped over a lot of these levels, and what happened here? So it actually is pretty good. It gave some pretty crazy moves, but what do? We want to get the true gap and go, what do we want to do? You can see I even had an alert on there this morning, never triggered, right? Because if I was going to trade the gap and go, I was going to have to go there. Never triggered. So what does that mean? We reversed, right? If you can't get over these pre-market levels on a potential gap and go, here's the pre-market levels right here. There's a high probability of reversal. And so you got some geometric levels going in here into the open, and boom, they flushed right through it at the open. And then it's just a bunch of choppy mess for the rest of the day. Right? But that is so key on those gap and goes, and we talk about it all the time. Okay, so we couldn't get over that, high probability reversal. And that's what happened on Piton. And sometimes it's surprising, right? Because you look at this, it's like, well, it gapped up. If you don't look at that pre-market stuff, well, it gapped up. Why doesn't it just keep going? Well, because it's dealing with other stuff, right? There's a lot of other price action here that the market makers are putting in place. And if they don't want it over that, it ain't going over it, right? Unless there's some fresh volume upgrades and stuff like that, and they just can't overcome it, right? They just open the floodgates and let it go. But if you can't get over that, right, look for a potential reversal on those. So. And not all the time, but Piton's a popular stock, right? It's a popular trading stock. So, some stuff they'll just chop around like crazy, like a Disney or something like that. But Piton, it's a highly actively traded thing. So you have to imagine that anybody who caught that gap up, especially short-term investors, is going to dump it, right? Especially if it can't get going again. So, I'll take these profits, I'll get in later. If it sets up again. And that's what we look for, right? When we look for swings, let's look for it to sweat up again if we're not set up again if we're not in it. Okay, so that's Baidu. Let's take a look at Baidu. Yeah, Baidu's just a choppy mess today too. It's just a really tough day. It's been pretty choppy as well. You can even see what's cool about these these trend channels is that you can kind of look at the chart and without really seeing a lot that's going on right here, you can see that we're trending down, just based on the averages, right? So it's kind of cool right here. Hit that linear regression channel, worked its way up. But let's go back here to the daily chart. So we're trending down short term, but we're sideways still here. So again, we just keep on chopping off of these horizontal levels right here. Just kind of see how they hold. Earnings coming up in a couple weeks, and kind of blah on Baidu. It's really challenging. Okay, good stuff. Osiris, what's going on? ABT, I got this one by Twitter. Inside day up today, so ABT's trying to work its way up here. We have a activate this. We're up a little bit after hours here with the rest of them. Up a little bit after hours. Activate joint. Up a little bit after hours right here. So there's your trend line, right? We're kind of breaking down below here. we're not getting any real confirmation moves, but here you can see this was a nice little swing idea here, and it got you back to your 21 EMA on the trend box breakdown. It got you here held, and now it's kind of just chopping around again. So let's see how that holds. It tried to take the inside day up, but we're still kind of maybe, I don't know, maybe bull flagging right here. So look for a potential breakout candle like this, with some good volume, and see if it can kind of work its way back up to that 100 level. Good stuff. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Netflixius. Inside day on Netflix today. I'm trying to defend. It's trying to defend this, kind of this breakout right here. If you kind of look at it, so it held pretty well here with this nice candle right here, and it's kind of working its way up. In terms of trend, it's still below the upper trend line, but golly, it's really hanging on to it here. And other than that, and for the most part, it's looking like a bull flag breakout right here. You're getting some upside movement on it. It's showing some strength in the morning intraday. I still want to see it over that trend line though to get, really convinced about it. But generally pretty strong. Inside day today, so tomorrow could be interesting too if it breaks above that. Tesla. Yeah, so Tesla is super duper choppy right here. And if you kind of zoom in, here, Harami too. I mean, just really, really tight range. Not too, a true inside day. Grapefruit time. Not a true inside day, but the real body is contained by this real body right here. And so it pushed up a little bit today. I mean, honestly, it's amazing that it held as well as it did, right? Because they said this morning that they had to abruptly shut down the Shanghai factory, right? Because they weren't getting auto parts, right? But it held up really well through that. Just a really choppy price action day today. So you can see this triangle type behavior here. So let's see what it does in the morning. Look at the pre-market activity, see if it starts to break out. I don't know. We'll see if it kind of break its way to the upside, but it might break its way down too. I mean, but if they come up and say like, oh, we're back online on the Gigafactory, that could get this thing going again, right? Baba, same thing as Baidu. It's been really, really tricky here. We're still contained by this triangle. We're still in the cloud, so I'm still waiting for a breakout move out of this triangle one way or the other on that one. And then Boeing, speaking of triangles, Boeing started, let's see if this pops up. Boeing started to break out of the triangle yesterday. What's the problem with this one? Problem with this one is we have decreasing volume, right? I mean, it's still a good volume, but it's decreasing volume, and we could barely get below a couple of these pivots right here. So we need to see some strength on that to the downside. So what they do? A lot of folks got short on this one because it's like, hey, it's breaking down. It's two red candles in a row. If somebody had a triangle up here, hey, it's breaking out the triangle, even though it didn't have volume, it wasn't big enough breakout candle. And they squeezed them out this morning. I mean, they just literally squeezed them out this morning. That was all it was this morning. We were watching this on the live stream this morning. I know some folks pointed out in the group. Just a nice move here. Got through its pre-market levels. Good momentum move up. Got through the 15 orb and just had a nice move up today. Right, and then of course pulled back with the rest of the market, right? Geometric line breakdown, all that stuff, but it held its 15 orb high and stayed bullish, right? So it looks like we got a 60 anchor on it too at the end of the day. So so that's what we see with Boeing right here. Very, very possible to see more upside, but really, what happens right here? Once we pivot back up like that, the triangle expands. So this triangle is ready, and it's okay, right? That triangle expands too. All that's saying now is if we're below these levels, once we break down below there again, if we do, we're below there, and then we have a chance to test down here. So that's good in a lot of ways, but it's hard. You don't want to jump the gun on it. So triangle expands is what we're seeing right here on BA. Good. All right. Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. Michael, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, FSLY. Oh, yeah. Fastly. I know you guys were talking about it yesterday. Just an amazing move today. This one gapped over. Look at that. So this kind of looks a lot like that work, right? Work with that head and shoulders pattern right here, and it gapped above it. Kept going, right? So interestingly enough, this one kept on going though, even though it fell into it jumped into some selling pressure today. So that's good. So it really kind of tuned a lot of that out and was just focusing on this head and shoulders type move right here, and you can see what it did. Right? What do we look for? Pre-market level breakouts, right? On these things. So that's a great area right there. So you gave that first initial burst, came back down, held it nicely with some good volume inside 15 at that level, and came back up right off of that 80 MA right there and gave a nice move up here on Fastly. So, pulled back a little bit at the close, but again, same tactic here that we talked about on Twilio, right? See if it holds the 50% levels, see if it can go, and if it breaks over today's highs, you might get a little bit of pop up there. So that'd be good. Nice one. And then here, to the beach. So good. It's back over $10. That's a good thing. It's a good thing to hear about it, right? So back over $10 right here. Nice move, right? So a couple levels to contend with as well. But what did it do? How did it handle that price action today? Oh, it was earnings yesterday. Oh, wow, they just pushed it up today on anything. Anyway, but it still cleared the pre-market levels, gave a nice move up this morning. And then they love doing this, getting people in, hey, this is really bullish, everything's great, and then earnings, so it came back down. But, we'll see how that holds anymore. It's back down to 9.4. Sorry, it looked like the earnings was today. I guess it was after hours. So 9.4, it's coming back down here. So it's not really, it's getting into some buying pressure in here. So, it bought it up here. So let's see if they get a reversal off of that one going into the morning. But it's a tricky one to trade with options. I know the options are just not, I think they're not even tradable anymore, but good stuff. Something definitely a good one to keep an eye on right there. AYX Cloud Guy, what's going on? Good to see you, and thanks for your support. So we got AYX looking pretty interesting right here. So we're actually almost seeing like a sideways head and shoulders, right? See if you get this right here. So you got here's your shoulder, here's your head, and maybe kind of working on another shoulder right here, right? And earnings are they were yesterday, right? So we just kind of gap and reverse type move today because we came into some buying pressure. So good stuff. So let's see if we can get a breakout move of this geometric line and see if we can kind of work its way up. It's got a nice open gap up here and another pivot level that it could eventually test on that one. AYX can move when it's ready. Sridhar, what's going on? USO. Yeah, USO is still kind of chopping around here. We've been tracking this one too. We got this nice trend line down right here. We're just kind of moving sideways to it. So we're just going to keep an eye on it, see if we can get out of this trend line, and then see if we can confirm above there. But it is bearish until proven otherwise. Good stuff. MGR, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Bezod, what's happening? Good to see you. Apple, let's take a look. Oh, you got all my favorite stocks up. Good. So Apple, good. Doji day today, low volume, going ex-dividend tomorrow. So it might get a little pullback off of that one, but then see if we can get over these levels here and try to work its way up on Apple. But Apple's been so choppy this week, so let's see if it can actually give us a day tomorrow. Roku, nice gap up yesterday. Nice move yesterday, right? Nice bull flag breakout candle with good volume. Got great follow through today. This is normally if we weren't going into earnings, right? Yesterday I'd be like, yeah, it's a good breakout candle to go long on, and then it gives a nice move up here today. But the premiums are so high and it's pretty crazy with the volatility. And then of course we have earnings here, and it looks like it's getting ready to move, and it's down here after hours. So right now it's about that 123 level. So see how it holds that. That's basically bringing us right back down to the trend line right here, actually even a little bit above it. So see how it handles. It might give you a reversal back up and even fill that open gap right there, and then possibly continue to work its way up off of that. Beyond. So Beyond had a great move. So remember we were just looking at a lot of big gaps right there. So see how Beyond held 50% of the range of today's candle. So that's bullish, right? So because we had this nice cup and handle, it started to break out yesterday, and it held 50% of the range. So let's continue to watch Beyond and see if it can and grow from there. I think it's up a little bit after hours, and this is still a good go-to one now that the there's like some meat supply shortages type things going on. So definitely keep an eye on that. See if we can get over the earnings high again, and then AMD. So looking pretty interesting here. Also forming a cup and handle-ish type pattern, right? So here's your cup handle. Holding its trend line here, and we can see how it handles once it gets up here. If we can break out of there, we'll have a nice cup and handle break on AMD. And then Facebook inside Doji Day. So let's see how that goes tomorrow. A possible break to the upside could test these prior resistance levels here, right at the 213s, and above that, right, we may see it move up to 218. So we're kind of tracking that too. Of course, if it breaks down below the inside day levels, we may test the prior day's lows. Okay, and then QCOM. Right up today, again, also a cup and handle-ish type pattern right here. We want to see a breakout candle for sure, but a resistance off of the 200-day, a little bit of a pullback there, and let's see if we can get a breakout move on that one. So it was definitely in play today. It had some movement today, but let's just wait for that breakout candle on that one too. Osiris, what's going on? Good. Yeah, we got your chart request. That's good. JM, what's going on? Happy Christmas. Okay, yeah. Yeah, with the futures for sure. Matthew, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Thomas, what's happening? Good to see you. Snap attack. Strong close today, guys. It got over that scene of the breakdown level right here. I like this candle on Snap. I'm going to put it on the bullish radar tomorrow. This is a tough one to trade, guys. The spreads are really, really small, and it really doesn't move very much. But it's I think it's one you can still look at tomorrow and see if it gets any nice upside movement. Good stuff. Michael, what's going on? Yeah, Twilio, we covered that a little bit earlier, but we'll just take another look at it right here. Strong candle, upper shadow. So let's see how it holds the 50% range of that candle. If it breaks out over today's highs, it might give a nice move. Work was definitely, I feel like it's on everybody's radar. And the Nest, if you're out there, yeah, work finally gave a move today, right? And it was on the radar, right? It popped on like some of our volume scans in the morning, and just just gave a nice move right here. Our momentum scans in the morning, and nice triangle breakdown at the open. Held the 15 orb level inside 15, move up, pull back to the ADMA right here, lots of insides, and then worked its way up again and up after hours. I mean, so this thing's getting ready. Right, so 3075 is up here where we're at right now. So keep an eye on work tomorrow for a momentum move to the upside again, as it does a daily head and shoulders breakout, which everybody's been stalking for a while. So let's keep an eye on it, and we've been stalking it too. So nice compressed days. Finally got a breakout candle today, and see if it gets that follow through to the upside. Good. And then FTNT. Yep, nice FTNT. Nice candle today too, good guys. Good gap and go candle here. This is one of our members like this one today. Nice push here through the pre-market levels. Good momentum move. Double inside 15 for a 15-hour breakout and give you another move up. Give you actually another double inside for another move up too. But very, very strong move today. And so again, look to see if we can break over tomorrow's highs. COHR. Yep, COHR, so coherent. Let's take a look here and see how that's going. Yep, good volume today, nice candle. This. So yeah, so it's doing pretty well right here. It broke out of a lot of these geometric levels right here. So nice candle today. It looks like it could push over today's highs. Could try to work its way up to the 200-day moving average on that one. So looking good on there. AAOI. Also a nice move today too. Coming into a little bit of pivot level issues right here. So we got this going on. Right, upper shadow there, but let's see if we can close above that over 13, and then it might try to work its way back up again. CRM, software sector, very strong today, so CRM had a nice move today, gapped over a lot of levels, and then gave you this today. Nice move up, pause here inside 15, up off the 15 orb. Kind of tagged back again after hours, but still seems to be doing okay. CRM's a tricky one to trade, but it had a nice setup today. So that's looking good. Ollie. Inside day on the gap up, came back down. Now it gave you an outside day with a lower shadow. So it's getting pretty tight in here, guys. I would just kind of look at this as a potential bull flag, and then see if you can wait for a breakout move on that one. Always a little bit tricky. It's a tough option stock, but could be interesting. Looking pretty good. Nice ones, Michael. I recognize a lot of them. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Umesh, what's going on? USO. Yep, let's take another look at that one too. Yep, so USO just still tracking this one, still bearish, still proving otherwise. It's getting flat right here as it's moving sideways to the downward trend line. So let's see if we can get above there and eventually break out above it. But again, still staying bearish right there. Ankit, what's going on? BA, let's take a look. Yep, again, still chopping right here, still in the triangle right here, basically formed a fresh low of the triangle. Nice move today. So let's see if it eventually can break out to the upside and come back up to the 50 moving average on that one. Roku, earnings after hours, bringing it down to 123-ish right now, so basically coming back down to the trend line area. So see if that holds for a reversal tomorrow, maybe it come up and fill the gap if it wants to be aggressive. I'm really looking forward to Roku premiums going back to normal again. UCO, crude oil, so really, really tight right here. And again, you can kind of, that 50 is almost tracing like this same kind of moving average right there. So that's getting really tight right there. So see how that does going up to the trend line there. Trip. Getting tight in here, getting really, really tight. So, still just, kind of got out of this range right here, tried to break out to the upside, got up to the cloud finally, sideways action. Geometric lines right here, right, and here. So just getting tight in that triangle. See if we get another breakout move on that one. TripAdvisor is going to be a tough one until the economy opens up. Just one of those travel agency things. Nobody's traveling. Not a lot of people are using it, right? So just, but when it opens up, keep an eye on it. Linear 200 moving average looking like pretty good resistance right here. So see if we can get above that and work its way to the upside. Home builders were strong, decent yesterday. So let's see if see if we can show some relative strength right here. But it is above the cloud, so that's good. RTX, mega war machine stock right now. So aerospace type stuff, Raytheon, UTX, rah. So anyway, but good stuff right here. Holding this geometric line here. I mean, honestly, it looks like a massive bear flag, but I doubt it just the way the market is. But we'll see how that holds right here. We got earnings coming up tomorrow morning. So see how that holds. And, if it bounces, let's see where it goes to. If it gets over these levels right here, right, we might see a little bit of a gap and go here to try to get out of the cloud. And then SPXL. Again, this is also getting really tight right here. I'm just just tight, tight, tight. So see if that can start moving one way or the other. I like it. The S&P 500 bull ETF. So see if we can get a breakout move one way or the other on that one. And then CVX, another oil play. I like this one. This has gotten over the cloud right here. I like how the 8 and 21 EMA are moving up. Your 50 moving average is still tilting down, right? You got kind of a trend line-ish right here, but let's see if we can give another push to get over these levels to get that trend line back up, and then we might try to come back and test that kind of around that 100 level. Would be nice. Good stuff. ZEK, what's going on? MNST, let's take a look. So Monster Beverages, upper shadow right there, but holding the inside day high, so a little bit tricky right here. Yeah, it definitely is one that could lure you in. That was a huge breakout candle right there, and it pulled back off of it. So, so let's see how it holds these levels right here. I'd like to see it try to build up here and maybe get over those guys to try to at least come back and retest that high, because it's going to want to test there one day. Disney, decent candle today, right? It's kind of a slow mover up, but it's kind of slow moving after its earnings report, and it's holding its geometric line. So just continue to look for it to see if it shows bullishness over the prior day's high. GLD, gold. Gold had some strength too, guys. Still in the trend box on GLD. So see, obviously you can go one way or the other, but just look to see if it continue to work its way up, get out of that trend box line. We'll shift the trend line over and see if it can remain bullish on that one. And NCLH, talking about bankruptcy proceedings on Norwegian. So this one here, we've got still contained by the channel. Still contained by the triangle right here. Earnings coming up too, so we'll see. It'll probably have bad earnings, and it'll probably move up on it, like General Motors. So we'll see. But they were talking about bankruptcy too, so a lot of these cruise lines are struggling. They were fun to short during the Corona crash. United Healthcare, again, possible head and shoulders in the works. Shoulder, head, right? We might see another move down here, and then might give us another shoulder move, and then for a breakout on this one, that would be an interesting move on UNH. So we're definitely tracking that one. The Nest, hope you're doing well. Work, yep, there's your move on the work, looking good. It's also moving up after hours today, so you got your big candle today, big volume, and I think you're probably going to see some follow through on that one tomorrow. So that's going to keep that on the bullish radar for tomorrow as well. Disney again, nice candle today, Marubozu candle, pushing its way up into the cloud. See if it can get some follow through over today's high. And then ISRG coming right to the 200 right here. That 200 is looking like some heavy resistance. It was we did have that probably a triangle level right there, so I would say a breakout over there. Good volume today. Getting over that 200 is going to be really important for it. Good stuff. And then TDG. Getting tight in here. There to there. Right? A little bit of triangle type move right here. So just see if it breaks out one way or the other. Earnings were they were good. So just see if you give you a nice breakout of that triangle right there. Still that declining 50 moving average too. Cloud guy, yeah, Uber. Nice. Earnings after hours. I like it. And I love it when our geometric lines correspond with the 2-day moving average right there. So yeah, so nice, decent move today, guys. Uber gave some good moves today. Nice little push up here during the day. Pulled back to 15 orb, then a nice move up after hours on earnings. So now tomorrow, let's see how that level holds into the open. Right, see if we can kind of hold this stuff into the open right here. But we want to see it get over those levels into tomorrow for another potential momentum move on that one. Thank you, Claire Guy. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your support. The Nest ETR. A little bit of down move today, broke that 15 orb towards the end of the day. And this guy is inside day going into earnings next week. So it's starting to break out of this geometric line right here. So see if you might see a little energy. So you might see a inside day breakdown tomorrow for maybe a little bit of a move, but let's see how it does on that. Ankit, yeah. So the yellow candle is just a think script that I have in here. Let me pull it up for you. I'll post it in the box here. So inside bar yellow. Okay, so I'm going to post the code down here. All you got to do is put in your think script, and it'll turn your candles yellow there. So hopefully you find that helpful. But yeah, it's just an inside candle, so it just turns them yellow. Just using the think script code, just got to paste in there. Rocky, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. EA. Enter. There we go. Inside day today after an interesting earnings move, right? So it kind of popped up the other day. But these are the gaming stocks, guys. These are tough ones, right? They just are for whatever reason. It's kind of working on like a megaphone pattern right here. So it's in the middle of the range. So a breakout above there could try to work its way back over the top. A breakdown could try to get its way to the bottom of that megaphone too. So the gaming stocks are just really tricky to trade. But BA, is going to be interesting one of these days, right? It's getting really tight right here in this triangle type formation. So let's look for a breakout one way or the other still on this triangle to see if we can get some direction for us. Umesh, yeah, QRVO. Doji move right there, so a little bit of a push over today's highs. Again, sort of like a backwards doji sandwich. It's like a deconstructed doji sandwich, right? Because it's all red. But a couple upper shadows right there. I mean, it's getting kind of tight. You kind of look at this as maybe like a rising wedge type pattern type thing right here. It's getting a little bit tight there, so just see if it gives you any candlesticks. And we got earnings. Oh, we had earnings after today. You guys always throw this on me. It's a nice one there. It's holding up pretty well right here up to 107. So let's see how that looks. So 107 gets us right about there-ish. So, yeah, so just be careful with that. You might see a reversal on this one tomorrow unless you get some super-duper strength. And then MCHP. Let's take a look. Let me guess, earnings tonight. I think so. Yeah, gapping down a little bit on this one. This is a tricky one to trade. But prior inside days to see how it tests those levels. It's down to 82. You're basically testing this horizontal cloud right here, so it might find it as some support. So might see a little bounce off of that tomorrow. Ernesto, what's going on? Good to see you. VTIQ, let's take a look. Oh yeah, nice one today. This is a good one, guys. So nice gap up over there, right? Ended up getting above this geometric level over its basically right at its prior double inside day. So see if you can get another push. I love these. So you can get a push over today's high for a potential scalp move off of that one. That could be interesting. And then Jets. Yep. So this is airlines, just struggling, right? So just below these levels right here, but bearish still proven otherwise inside day. Cool one. What's going on? Good. Yeah, my pleasure on FTNT. Cool stuff, huh? You got to put up those pre-market levels. Once you get those moves through them, they can be really powerful. Net, nice gap up today too. Again, Cloudflare. We have earnings. Earnings after. I'd say a lot of these software ones were so strong today, and then you get to earnings, you're like, oh, sorry, right? And then it's kind of dropped down a little bit, so it's just like, oh, that gained, bye, right? All after hours. So the good news is it's not really gapping down that much. It's only kind of gapping down to like 26 right here, but it basically takes you to today's low. So what that does is tomorrow, remember we talked about gaps on gaps? So because we're gapping down tomorrow way down here, this gap might want to get tested tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye on that one. And Chef, yep, let's say Chef. Okay, yeah, so Chef's Warehouse looking pretty interesting right here. So earnings today, pre-market, and then it kind of drifted up a little bit here after hours. This is a interesting one, right? So it's starting to get some volume in here, after this big epic move down. So see if this one can start to get interesting here. And as it holds this geometric line, right? A little bit of a kind of head and shoulders type action right here. So if it pushes down, you might see a little move. That could be interesting. Good. And then NTAP. Yeah, wow, really, choppy stuff going on in here. Let's take a look. So yeah, so kind of all over the place right here, but kind of like a flaggish type pattern, going on. So see how it handles the clouds, spinning top type day, doji day. Kind of a tough area to find direction in. Good stuff. Michael, eBay, what's going on? Let's take another look here. So eBay. Yeah, just grinded its way up right here. So definitely been some flow coming in this one. It's a tricky one, but hey, every penny counts. So that one's working its way up there. Adobe. Yeah, decent gap up today, so it's still holding a little bit. Ended up turning red on the day, but it did fill did it fill the gap today? Yep, filled that gap today, so it kind of came back off of a little gap resistance. So see if we can work its way above today's highs. Hubs. Yeah, nice gap up here today too. A little bit of resistance here since it couldn't get over those pivot levels up there on HubSpot. And then Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is pretty strong. I mean, it's up about 2 points here after hours. So, nice move. It got over this, what was that? We were talking about the 20-day channels yesterday. So it got over its previous 20-day high. So that's good on some good volumes. See if we get some follow through up here. It's really approaching that all-time high level. It's been kind of a nasty move up, but it's doing it. It's working its way up. So that's good. MGRs, yeah, so SPG. Yep, inside day today. Earnings coming up pretty soon right here, and let's see if it holds that geometric line below. And work, big breakout candle today with some good volume, so we're looking for some follow through on that one going into tomorrow. And then KKR. Nice gap up today too. Yep. So just kind of got some nice follow through after earnings right there, and just watch out for your 200-day moving average on that one. Good stuff, Manoj. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the screen earlier. Reed, sorry about that. Yeah, we got it. We got it going here. Okay, we're good. I lost you guys here. 1 second. Lost the tracking right here. Yep, linear regression. Oh, how do you get the arrows? Oh, sorry guys, missed a couple right. Heather, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so JM, so Goldman Sachs. Let's take a look right here. Yeah, so Goldman, guys, the bank started to get some flow in them today. Right, a little bit of action. So Jpmorgan was the weaker of them all. But yeah, we definitely saw some action in the banks today. Double inside 15 here on Goldman for a moved up. But Bank of America was pretty strong today. Jpmorgan kind of pulled back a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of activity right there. Goldman's just in this big chop zone right now, so we've got that going on. Miles, SPCE, yeah. Another epic move on SPCE today. Again, big volume yesterday after earnings. And got some nice follow through today. It found a little resistance here off of the daily. So nice move on that one. And JM, how do you get the arrows to switch to different studies in the top chart? You're talking about these guys right here. So all you do is you got to create a grid. So the thing right next to the arrows right here, if you don't see the arrows, what you'll have is on yours is you probably have just one square right there. So if you click on that, you can increase the size of your grid for as much as you want to, right? And then so I just have all those tied together. They're tied together with this color right here. There's a drop down right there. So you can, if you tie all your charts together with the same color, right, you see the same chart, and then all you have to do is on each one is just look at different time frames on those. So it gives you a real quick way to be like, okay, what's it doing on the monthly, what's it doing on the daily, et cetera, on that. Gamer Dad, what's going on? Can we look at CVNA? Let's take a look. Yeah, so CVNA, wow, good volume today on Carvana. So nice follow through from earnings today. So it did get over this pivot level here, but it didn't really gap to it or above it. So it just kind of just gave a push over it right here. So, once we got over the prior day's highs today, right, gave you a nice move, nice little move to the upside here. So again, keep an eye on it right here. You got a, I think, filled its gap here today, like we said, on nice gapping moves on earnings days with higher volatility moves. You sometimes see those gap fills. So just see how it holds today's highs and see if we can get above that for a potential scalp. But yeah, it's definitely building some strength right here and still holding trend. So you're wondering what it looks like compared to Roku. Wonder if it can run after dropping with ER like CVNA did today. Yeah. So it's possible. It depends where it goes to, right? So you can see here on CVNA, right? So we basically, we didn't get down to the upward trend line right here. We actually did here. So if you go here and here, technically this is a geometric line. This is your trend line, right? Because we're going off the prior highs. And so we actually did gap down right to the trend line. So that's something that Roku could do. Just drop down to the trend line again and see if it bounces off of that. Very, very possible. Brandon, what's going on? Yeah, my pleasure. 2 questions. How do you set TOS to change the color of your inside candles? So I just put the script at the bottom, so just check that one out. And how see the arrows switch to the time? Wow, great. Well, I just answered both those questions. So yeah, they all have the same question. So hopefully you got that from there. Just go to your grid right here, and then match everything up with this drop down on each. So if I go here to the next one, you can see how it's green. I'm sorry, it's purple. Where did green even come from? They're both that 9 level right there, right? So if you go through those, right, you'll see that. Now, if I wanted to do something else, but if I wanted this one to be like maybe like a different chart on the 1 hour, if I wanted to go like Starbucks or something like that here, right, I would just go over there, and so Starbucks is kind of hanging out here. But I like to keep them all. I like to do it just so I can flip through the different time frames and see how it's behaving on different time frames really quickly. Yeah, all good. MGR, yeah, APT. Yeah, we looked at that I think a little bit earlier today, so it's we're looking pretty good right here. That triangle is starting to get really tight. Right, you could even kind of bring that down here. That longer term triangle right there. So we can kind of get rid of this right now. So it's getting really, really tight. So we're looking for a breakout one way or the other on that one. It's looking pretty interesting. Hack your coding, what's going on, NVIDIA? Yep, so NVIDIA's slowly working its way up here. It looks like it could kind of get its way up to these all-time highs. Right, it's just slowly kind of grinding its way up, after the Corona move, right, just up and down, up and just really, really nasty. But good volume today, right, and it cleared the recent highs right here, so it's got some potential on that one for more upside follow through tomorrow. And good, Alan, what's going on? Amazonius. So wow, pretty interesting move here on Amazon today. So it got basically bounced off of the trend line here. I know it's a little bit sloppy. Boom, boom. So basically, came back down, bounced off the the trend line right here area, and then off of your ADMA. So it's still kind of getting constructive right here. We originally had a bull flag on this one. The original bull flag was here, so we are above that. But if we kind of adjust it right here, it's tough with this upward. It's a mess right now, but it is still holding trend. So we got that going for it, right? And it bounced off the ADMA. So it may still go a little sideways, right? But see how it does once it hits this trend line again, right? Might give you another move up. Definitely tracking it. MGR, hey, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks for tuning in and for your support. Baseline, yeah, my pleasure. NCLH, here there was a good huge loan that then got and then not going for Microsoft. Okay, good. Well, that's good for it. So hopefully they can hang on to that. Yeah, Ankit, my pleasure. Sherry, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. TTD. Yeah, well, yeah, TTD just continuing to push it, grind its way up right here. So they had earnings tonight. So how'd that do tonight? Yeah, not so good. So pull back a little bit, but if it's anything like Square yesterday, it'll end up pushing and going even farther up. But it's tough right here at the all-time highs, so just see how it does tomorrow. If it can get above these highs again tomorrow off of a move up, that would be good. Otherwise, we might see some more downside follow-through on it. MGR, yeah, you guys? I think you want you guys. Yeah, so your natural gas right here. Well, we got over this trend line right here, and now we're just kind of range bound on this thing. So it's just kind of eventually it's going to give you a breakout candle one way or the huge volume is coming in this thing too. Thomas, have a good night, man. Thanks for tuning in. JM, yeah, my pleasure. Brandon, my pleasure. Umesh, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Heather, thank you so much. Michael, thank you too. Wow, guys, it's already 10:30, so it was a little bit of a longer one tonight, but it was a good one. We're heading into Friday, so I think we covered a lot of charts. I think we're gonna have some fun tomorrow on Friday, so looking forward to it. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And Ankit, thank you so much. That's great. I'm so happy that it's helping. So good. Yeah, you just gotta kind of just look. Once you get it down, you just gotta look at it every day, and eventually you're like, oh, okay, I see what it's doing. That type of stuff. So, and the market still plays tricks on you, but volume important, risk reward is the most important thing, right? Geometric lines, trend lines, right? And then some of the other tools that we use. But I hope you guys find it helpful. I'm glad you find it helpful, and I hope everybody appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. So make sure if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. Also, whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. We always appreciate that. And then be sure to check out the links in the description. They got links to our Twitter page where we post cool charts, and also links to our website where you could sign up for our newsletter and look at all our different services and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll catch you guys again Sunday night, where we'll be right back at it and come up with some new technical ideas to talk about and go through chart requests and questions and things like that. So look forward to seeing you guys Sunday. I hope everybody has a wonderful day tomorrow, great trading day tomorrow, and an awesome weekend. And we'll see you guys then. So stay healthy, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And